So now we're going to shift from learning to problem solving, starting with Stratum 1. What's the role of Stratum 1? Those are the people that do what?
Production.
Primary problem solving strategy at Stratum 1 is trial and error. Some of you can relate to that because you've watched them engage in problem solving activities using trial and error. And who are they usually doing that in front of? Your customers. Just thought I'd bring that up. To illustrate this more clearly, if I could ask you to imagine the following scene. Imagine you are standing on your front porch. You're standing on your front porch in the dark, fumbling with your keys. It's nighttime. Fumbling with your keys, you can't find the right one because it's dark, you can't see clearly. In fact, you're a little bit frustrated because you knew you'd be coming home in the dark and you left the front porch light on. But for some reason, that front porch light is no longer burning. You finally find the right key. You get inside the front door, you reach for the light switch, and the light switch is on, but the front porch light's not burning. With that as our problem, there are a number of things that we could do to solve that problem, but what's the first thing that we might change out? Light bulb. So that's one thing that we could do, is to change out the light bulb. But what else could we check around the house to figure out what's going on with this electricity on the front porch? Breaker box. Who said that first? Okay. Well, fuse box, breaker box, same thing. Have you had some experience with that breaker box? I kind of figured that you had. So we could change the light bulb. You're going to check the breaker box, but what else could we check around the house to figure out what's going on with this electricity out on the front porch? We could check another light. So Jim, you're going to go to another part of the house. You're going to turn a light switch on. One of two things is going to happen. That light's either going to come on or it's not. So let's say it comes on. You can use the data from that light, which is supposed to be on and is, and compare that with the data from the light on the front porch, which is also supposed to be on but is not. Comparing those two conditions together. By the same token, if you turn that light switch on and it doesn't come on, it still gives you data, a light that's supposed to be on but isn't, compared with the light on the front porch that's also supposed to be on and isn't. Comparing those conditions together, we may be able to get to the root of the problem. Those three problem-solving methodologies, changing the light bulb, checking the circuit breaker box, and checking another light around the house, which of those is most like trial and error? Changing the light bulb. We have no clue if it's going to work or not. Seems to most of the time, so that's what we might try first. But it is a trial and error problem-solving methodology. You, however, are going to check the circuit breaker box because you've had some experience with that circuit breaker box. Experience is a Stratum 2 problem-solving strategy. How many of you have SOPs, Standard Operating Procedures Manuals, inside your companies where you've documented your methods and processes at Stratum 2? Stratum 2, a person with Stratum 2 capability has the ability to see patterns in things, patterns that they can see in a customer's problem that seem to match a pattern in our documented experience. Documented experience where we sat down, how many of you have engaged in an exercise called best practices? We sat down and you figured out what are all of our customers' problems? What is our best practice solution to solve those problems? A person with Stratum 2 capability can see a customer's problem and see the solution in our documentation, apply it, and solve the problem. Our documented experience. Stratum 3. What's the role of Stratum 3? Those are the people that create what? Now, Stratum 3 is going to engage in a different kind of problem-solving strategy. Jim is going to check another electrical appliance around the house. He's going to compare the condition of that with the condition of the light on the front porch. What would we call that decision-making methodology? Again, very closely related to learning style. Analysis, a very specific kind of analysis called root cause analysis or comparative analysis. Three very different roles, using three very different sets of tools, populated by three very different people with different learning styles and who approach problems with different problem-solving methodologies. Question: can a person with Stratum 3 capability solve problems through trial and error? Of course, we do it all the time. Can a person with Stratum 1 capability solve problems through root cause or comparative analysis? Not as likely. Three different roles populated by three very different people, different learning styles, different problem-solving methodologies.